is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomenl.com.
Hey everybody, you guessed it. It is your Next Level Loan Officers podcast, the number one podcast for loan officers by loan officers. My name is Sean Zalmanoff, and I am joined by fellow host, co-founder, and coach Shane Kidwell. And we have an amazing strategy that we are going to break down for you today. We have a really special offer too. If you do this strategy, we're going to give you tools to be able to do it. And we're going to give you something if you implement this for 30 days and you don't get results. So it's going to cost you $0. You're going to do what you need to do anyway. And if you don't have success with it, we're going to give away free things to you to make sure you have more success in your future with it. Shane, how are you today?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be the CEO of a donut company in a sea full of donuts. And that wouldn't be good for my heart, but it would be good for my brain and my body. But I'm blessed. I'm amazing. I'm excited to be here. And, Sean, we typically talk on our podcast about themes that are coming up in the market, relevant things, because we're still in the trenches working daily. I know you stepped back in and built your own brokerage. I did the same. You're originating. I'm dabbling and also building a team of originators. And there's nothing more important when you're an originator in an unstable market than having a clear plan, right? Like you can have great effort, but if you're running in circles, you're not going very far. You can have great effort, but if you're lifting weights for your upper body only, pretty soon you skip leg day and you're out of alignment. And that's true in business, right? And so today, I think what I'm most excited about is sharing with everybody just a very quick strategy, our 3-2-1 strategy that will help give them specificity and clarity in the actions they need to do every day, every work day. And we know it will work. We're guaranteeing the result, right? Like we will guarantee that if you do this for the next 30 days, you're going to get an additional application, right? You're going to get an additional contract. Right. And we can say that because we know when you focus on the actions that matter, the ATMs in your business, and you treat them as though they're non-negotiables. It's like if I'm going to live in a submarine for a year, the first thing I'm checking is my oxygen supply. Right. Like these are non-negotiables. It's like air. And so I'm super excited to get started. So let's just dig right into it.
So, guys, if you saw Shane and my calves and quadriceps, you would know that we never skip a leg day. So we're gonna make sure that you don't. So this is a simple 3-2-1 strategy. Whether you have been originating loans for 3 days or 35 years, you can implement this inside of your business to have success. So Shane, let's talk about the 3 first. And then let's just kind of break down the pieces, and we're going to give you strategies that you can do for each and every single one of these.
Yeah. So first and foremost, these are not strategies that we just pulled out of a closet and dusted off from 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like these are things that are being actively used in our business and our pro members' businesses daily, right? What I've done is I've packaged them together in I think a formula that you can accomplish in 30 minutes to an hour or less every day. Like if you work 8 hours, you take an hour for future business, you give 7 hours back to your current pipeline, your Calyx point, your Encompass, your realtor meetings, whatever, you will have a thriving and successful business. Now, the first component of this, of the 3-2-1 is 3. Gallup did a poll. We've talked about this many times, but the number one thing that is lacking in originators' business right now is having enough organic conversations. Simply put, we sat down with several of our pro members. We do meetups often when we're speaking at other events. We meet up in those towns with our members. We grab coffee. I typically look for a place that has a good donut opportunity. And we're going to talk shop. And as we were talking with some of our members that were, transparent, they were struggling. When I asked them, in the way that Shane typically does, direct, no emotion, was, hey man, like how many people are you talking to every day? And the reality was they were not. Less than one a day, less than one a week for many people. Like organic conversations with new people. Like, and I would say, hey, these are people that you haven't talked to in the last 3 to 6 months or longer, right? The art of being a top producing salesman and woman is creating engagement with people and building your sphere. Like it's easy to sell tennis shoes to an audience of one, but you're only going to get one sale. It's harder to sell to an audience of 50,000 to build that audience of 50,000, but you can sell a hell of a lot more shoes. So Gallup did a poll, and we've talked about this before. In my market, every new conversation I have, organic conversation, phone, in person, if it's text, it's got to be super authentic. It's got to be engaging. It's not just like a thumbs up, Apple emoji or whatever. This is like an actual conversation. Gallup documented that I will make $200 every time I do that in the future, right? So if I want to make $1,000 a day, 5 organic conversations, 90 to 120 days later, I'm getting paid on that effort, right? So
Shane, even if you're not in a big market where home prices are a little bit less, you're saying that if I have 10 conversations a day and they're only worth $100 a call, like that's $1,000 of value right there.
Yeah, brother. The cool thing about this is because of this thing called the internet.
Yeah.
Your neighborhood is as big or as small as you make it, right? I hear people say this often. Well, Shane, that works in your market. You live in Seattle. Well, no, I don't. I'm an hour from Seattle, and I don't go there because of traffic. I live in a small town out in the middle of nowhere. There are deer running through my backyard. My town, my nearest town is 20 minutes away by drive, right? My internet goes out all the time. My power goes out all the time. I live in a small community. I'm driving massive presence to my social sites. So it is not hard to have 3 organic conversations a day if you treat that with the same level of commitment you do to watching Netflix, right? Like if you can watch Netflix, you can make 3 calls a day, if not more. So first and foremost, have 3 organic conversations every day. Now, what do you say? There are a couple scripts that work really, really well. Hey, Shane, man, it's Sean. Hey, Shane, it's Sean over at, betterrate.com. And brother, man, I haven't seen you since we used to work out at that gym 3 years ago. And, COVID was crazy for all of us. And I just wasn't intentional enough with checking in on people in my life that I appreciate. I made it a commitment in 2023 to just re-engage with people in my life who matter, and you matter. Dude, how the heck are you? Right? And then you shut up and you let the person talk, right?
And these are like the toughest conversations to have because it's easy. Like if you manage people or if it's your kids or somebody, like if you're in a superior position, it's really easy to check on people. But when you are their peers, when you're doing the same things that they're doing in life, like it's harder. For some reason, there's a mental block in our heads. But the thing is that when you check in on those people, you're probably the only one who's done it in a month. And that is a really incredibly powerful tool and conversation to have, because what we think is like, oh man, I haven't talked to Shane in 2 years, man, 18 months, man. I can't call him right now. It's just going to be weird. Dude, mental health is at an all-time staggering need of rebuilding and help. You have no idea. Maybe you do, but if you don't, you have no idea what that phone call might mean to somebody who gets it that day.
See, what's really cool about the 3-2-1 strategy and operating your day that way, what we didn't tell people was the byproduct of doing things that make you more money is you help people and you feel better, right? And if you can help people feel better and make more money, you're crushing it every day. You're more likely to keep this thing going for 30 days or longer. There's other scripts. You could say, hey, listen, hey, Sean, it's Shane over at Dwell Mortgage. Hey, man, I wanted to reach out. A good friend of mine passed away recently. A good friend of mine got sick. I was talking to my parents, something that created a life trigger, right? And you say, I had this life trigger, and it made me reflect back on what was really important. And I move so fast, and I'm so busy with my job. I'm focused on my kids, my wife, my this, my that. I stopped focusing on the people in my life that had impact, had made me laugh, had built some of those stories that came about from my childhood, whatever. And I made a commitment that I just wanted to reconnect with people like you. And I made a commitment to give back, bless other people, something like that, right? Another strategy is, hey man, I made a commitment to reach out and bless more people because I've been so blessed this last year. What can I do to help you? Tell me a little bit more about what's going on in your life. What kind of business do you have? And now you're getting information from them. You're like, Sean, dude, that is so cool that you have, rental homes and you have a mortgage company. I'm going to go on socials today and just share a little bit more about my friend Sean. So be on the lookout for that, man, because my goal in 2023 is to bless people like you who've indirectly or directly blessed me. Like if you have 3 of those every day, it's not easy, but it's also not difficult. And it's super rewarding for you, but it's even more rewarding for them. And if you're operating your day with a cadence and control, most people aren't. To your point, I'm probably the first person in a long time to get online and love on Bob's pressure washing company, because Bob's probably been down in the dumps. Bob's probably been depressed. Bob's probably, and so I think there's a really cool aspect to that. So the first component of our 30-day challenge, the 3 is to have 3 organic, intentional conversations every workday. These don't have to be long.
Yeah. So one thing to add to that. So these have to be real live conversations. Now you can't just leave a message, but you're going to leave messages. And remember, when you leave a message, often if you leave a heartfelt message, somebody's probably going to call you back. But when you leave a message, the goal is then for them to pick up the phone the next time you call. So have it on your calendar if they don't respond to call next week. But, leave a message. Don't just be like, hey, Shane, it's Sean. I haven't talked to you in forever. Give me a call. Leave a message. I haven't connected with you in a long time. I've been thinking about you. I just had a friend pass away, or I wanted to reconnect because I lost so much touch with friends during COVID, and you're important to me. Leave that same message that you want to tell them on there. That is the difference in them answering the phone next time or calling you back really quickly when they get that message and they're like, wow, that's the best voicemail I've gotten in my entire lifetime.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I did 2 of these yesterday. One was an Apple phone to an Apple phone where I was able to do a voice message through SMS, which was my follow-up. The other one was I recorded a voice memo that I then texted that individual, and that's a great follow-up as well. So voicemail, voice message, voice memo, heartfelt, honest follow-up. And people are like, well, what if I call 50 people and none of them pick up? Brother, sister, if you left 50 heartfelt voice messages, you would probably still beat this 30-day challenge, and probably even more so because you're still impacting people. And that's the residual impact. That's through osmosis, and it's super powerful. So the first component of our challenge of the 3-2-1 process is to have organic conversations with people from all walks of life, from all spheres of influence, from jobs, from college, from grade school, from your neighborhood, from a BNI group, from whatever. I have a Ford Bronco. I'm in a Bronco club. Man, I had a cool opportunity to hang out with a bunch of Bronco owners. And if I called them or left voice messages for them, or if I don't have their number, I got on Facebook Messenger and said, hey man, it was really cool meeting you. Thank you for giving me some feedback on the truck and these tools I use. Let's go off-roading sometime. They're going to know what I do in my life. So guys, there's no excuse not to get 3 done a day. Okay. 2, you need to create and post 2 times on your social media every day organically. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon. The definition of morning and afternoon is determined by you based on your market and the social platform that you're on. One of those 2 posts has to be a video. But Shane, I'm not good at video. Nobody likes what I say. How do I sound? Guys, the reality is no one cares. No one cares how you look. No one cares if you stumble in a word, if you trip while you're walking, while you're recording. It probably makes better video. The reality is, in our digital world, you are the brand. You need to be in front of more people more often, projecting yourself in a strategic and intentional way. When we say organic posts on social media, my social media platforms include LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. That's my platforms. If you're and YouTube, obviously specifically for video. So for YouTube, I could be posting once on YouTube every day, twice on Facebook, twice on Instagram, twice on LinkedIn. Now you might say, well, Shane, but LinkedIn, there's no engagement there. Don't overthink something that you're not an expert on, right? Like you wouldn't pay a trainer and then the first day of training start to try to tell the trainer how to train you, expecting to have a six-pack day one. Just work the process. Organic means that you are not copying a post that somebody else did. We see enough sheep online. We see that same post done like 50 times by 50 people. It's not authentic. The algorithms get it. The AI understands what you're doing. It's not intentional. Do everything with intention and you will grow your business. That includes social media engagement. Now, if you're in the pro community, we have several trainings on this. You can go to Social You. You can go to You Inc. We've done other podcasts on this. There's no lack of experts online telling you how to post. What I'm telling you to do is do it intentionally twice a day. Make one of those a video. And Sean, I'm going to give 2 examples of videos that would work well. And then I know you have some examples you want to share. A great example of this video is telling a story. It doesn't have to be your story. I can tell a story of a friend of mine who ran a 50K and hurt himself on the run and what he learned from that, as long as I talk about my friend and then relate it back to myself. I can also tell stories about things I've done in business, good or bad. Sometimes the most powerful message is how you responded to something bad, because people are insecure and weak. And if you give them tools to respond effectively to bad things, they're going to appreciate you more for that. You can also tell stories about rates, programs. You can give examples of did you knows or FAQs and things like that. There's no shortage of examples of things you can create through video to post on social.
So there's a couple of things that you can copy that I do. One is we do a weekly rate update on Mondays to our realtors. On Fridays, anybody who comes into my sphere gets, whether they've closed a loan, applied for a loan, talking about applying for a loan, get a weekly rate update. Rates are up, rates are down. Here's what's happened. Couple reasons I do this. One, because there's people who I don't get applications from right away, but I need to put them in my CRM and they need to get out of this campaign because I need to be continuing to provide value for them. Number 2, everybody who's doing a loan right now is going to refinance. So I want to make sure that I'm staying ahead of them, and everybody who does close or is closing is reminded that I am their guy, because as great as I am, they're going to forget about me. I'm always teaching some class and providing value to realtors. Maybe it's a product, maybe it's a class, maybe it's a combination of, on Fridays, they get another email from me. You can include a video inside of there as well to get some mass touches inside of that. Now, there's a couple interesting things. Number 1, so my 7-year-old, he loves to record videos. If you guys know what Among Us is, like I've been putting these stickers around the house, and like they love finding them, and they kind of think it's me, but they don't know. And so he records videos of finding the stickers. He also likes to record videos of himself putting Legos together. And the other day, we were watching the video, and he was like, "I sound weird." And I'm like, "No, buddy, you sound like Nash." He's like, "Well, that's not like what I sound like." And I was trying to explain to him that the way that we sound to ourselves is actually weird. That's not the way that we sound to everyone else. I'm like, dude, everybody who knows you and loves you, like that's how they hear you. And that's how, your voice comes across to them. So as you're having like, oh man, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, like, dude, look at all of the people on the internet. I mean, I think I sound weird. My voice does not sound like it sounds to me, but that's exactly how it sounds to everyone else. And you all been listening to this podcast for 5 years now at this point. And so you're still showing up. And that's what you've got to just get past in order to do these simple things and execute on for yourself.
Sean, if Michael Strahan can be the lead host on Good Morning America, no one cares how you sound. And that's no disrespect to Michael Strahan. But like, guys, no one cares because he does it with certainty, with intention. He's impactful, he's animated, and he comes across super genuine. The fact that he has a lisp and a gap between his 2 front teeth that I could kick a field goal through is completely irrelevant. And that guy makes a hell of a lot more money than you and I. Yeah. And he wasn't even a news anchor. He was a football player. And look where he is now. So I love that. So, okay, we've talked now about the three organic conversations done with intention every day. That's 3 conversations, not 3 voicemails. 2 organic posts done with intention. You're starting to see this. You're starting to understand that there's some rhythm and cadence to this. One of those 2 posts has to be a video. It doesn't matter if you're uncomfortable doing video. If you want to take a wheelbarrow and fill it full of cash, you need to get comfortable doing video, because that's where people are going for their information. The 1, we've gone from 3 to 2 now to the 1. You have to create and send out 1 mass communication every day. Now, people are like, what the hell is a mass communication? They instantly think mass email. That may be the case. A mass communication is going to typically leverage some sort of a tool or tools like a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, you absolutely need to. If you want to push that wheelbarrow down the street and have money just fall into the wheelbarrow in the next refi boom, you need a CRM. If you want to capture all those low-hanging fruit, you need a CRM. If you want to be one of the, I think, less than 20% of LOs that actually get repeat business, you have to have a CRM. Now, that CRM could be Pipedrive for $10 a month. It could be leveraging BombBomb through like their kind of pseudo CRM. It could be something very simple, very inexpensive, virtually free, but you need something. Now, there's lots of ways to do mass communication. One way of doing mass communication, and you cannot replace your 2 posts. So you could say, well, hey, I can post on social media. Yes, that is mass communication, but it's specifically on those platforms. Mass communication could be writing and posting a blog post and posting that blog post on your Google friendly website. We had a great class by one of our members inside the pro community where he generates the vast majority of his organic business simply through creating and mastering a blog, right? It could also be, to your point, Sean, you could take a market update. I used to do these every Friday. I would record what was going on in the market. I would screen share my screen, show the bond market. I'd go to like Redfin's blog and a couple other sites and just talk for like 3 minutes very quickly on what was going on in the market. I would send that through BombBomb to over 1,000 people every Friday. So those are 2 of 5 days already handled. There's many ways you can go out and do mass communication. Every Wednesday, you could be sending out something of value to your past clients that's non-mortgage related. You could have off holidays, meaning if you look on the calendar, every day there is a holiday: car wash day, donut day.
I knew you were going to talk about National Bear Claw Day.
National Bear Claw Day. Like, what better day? I mean, I'm sure there's a National Get Outside Day. There's National Flag Day. There's National whatever. It doesn't even have to be your day. That's a great way to reach out to people, because what they don't want to hear from you about is something that they don't need. And if they just got their home mortgage, they don't need to hear about a mortgage rate. They don't need to hear about a new product update. They don't care about it until 3 to 5 to 7 years from now when they're looking to buy a home. But if you've been mass communicating to them effectively for years, they have your virtual business card front and center.
Now, I want to talk about one more thing, because Shane and I are fantastic at repurposing content. My rate update email that I sent this week was a fantastic email I wrote. It's one of the better ones that I've actually sent to my realtors. And it was talking about the importance of not paying points, how so many lenders are hiding rate, or their margins are set up where they have to charge points right now. And I was like, damn, this is a good email. And I was like, you know what this is? This is a great blog post. So 100%. I changed about 8 words and 1 sentence. Instead of making it to realtors about clients, made it to the general public about themselves, and actually then went over to an AI generating site and said, hey, give me an image that would be great to put on a blog post where I'm talking about people not paying points. And on the second round, I liked one of the images it generated for me, and I had my image. I already had the article written. That whole thing took me about 10 minutes to create a blog post, because it probably took me 20 or 25 minutes to create the email, because there was a few words in that email to send out. So make sure that you don't overthink this. One thing that you're doing could be used 2 or 3 different times in different media, depending on who you're targeting.
Yeah, Sean, that is the definition of compressing time. It's like me driving to work in the morning, listening to an audible about how to be a better business leader, while drinking my morning protein shake. I'm getting 3 things done at once. And so when you see these people in life who are uber successful, like, oh man, what a workaholic. They're working so much. Well, part of it is they're just compressing time better than most people. Mm-hmm. And so as you were even talking about that one mass communication could certainly be repurposed as a portion of one of your 2 social engagements. It could certainly be repurposed as something of conversation for your 3 conversations. Guys, the reality is when you make a decision to better yourself, grow your business, step outside of your comfort zone, which, by the way, comfort zones are really not very comfortable, because anyone who's sitting in a place of comfort is complaining about multiple areas of their life. So it's not even comfortable. When you get outside of that uncomfortable comfort zone and you do these things with intention, you're going to start to create new ideas. Your brain's going to start to fire differently. Your world's going to open up. And quite frankly, if you don't know where to start, you need to surround yourself with like-minded people. You know, we talk all the time about next level. And guys, if you think that we built a community to make money, you should look at our bank accounts from Next Level from the first 4 years. We basically did it as a nonprofit for free. Now, I joke about that, and that's sort of tongue in cheek, but the reality is we built Next Level to surround ourselves with like-minded people, because that's how we grew our businesses. With over 700 paid members and soon to be in the thousands, if you don't have an idea, you're simply not trying hard enough to find ideas, because they're everywhere. Whether you join our digital community, our pro opportunity as well, you go into a free Facebook group. Be careful, because they do a lot of complaining there. There are so many ways that you can get new ideas to generate new content, to create new conversations, create new posts, have new mass communication. It's simply not that hard.
It is not. I mean, if you've listened into this podcast, I mean, thank you, first of all. But you've probably listened to dozens of our podcasts, because we get a lot of great feedback. You can get tons of content just from our podcast to implement and grow your business. But we've got something that we're giving for you guys. So we're going to have a download for you and a tracker. You want to talk about what we're doing on this 3, 2, 1, and what are we going to give? Are we going to give coaching calls? You're a pro.
I don't want to say what we're going to give away on this, because it's going to be dependent on when the person listens to the podcast and where they're at in their life. But I will tell you that I'm going to make a guarantee. There will be some item of value, whether it's a free coaching call, the free community, free pro, a free camera tripod. There will be something that we'll be giving away. So if you want to take the challenge, you can join Next Level. You can go to becomemnl.com, join our pro, Next Level Pro, which is our pro community. It's $197 a month. You will get more than 1 new loan from this, which will more than cover your membership. Quite frankly, we have a guarantee within Next Level that you get your money back if you don't grow your business within Next Level in our pro community. But we are going to be giving away stuff to really help drive this initiative. If anybody's done 75 hard, a little bit of the idea came from having some sort of a specific challenge that you do for a specific period of time to get a specific result. I know it's a novel concept, but guys, I just want to challenge you. Dig in on your business. If you need help, and I know that the vast majority of people out there, because I was one of those people, I have great intentions, poor execution. I say, oh man, I'm going to do this. Sean is right, man. I'm going to go out and do a blog post. I'm going to do these things. And then the reality is you just don't do it with any regularity. You need accountability. There's a ton of ways to do that, but no simpler than joining Next Level. Go to becomemnl.com. If you're hearing this podcast, reach out to Sean or I, and we'll be happy to engage with you more. We're launching a digital performance tracker and dashboard, which would be a great tool to use for things specifically like this. We love you guys. We want the best for you, and we'll see you on the other side.
Peace out, y'all.